Well, in today's environment, because the consumer has so many different ways to consume video content, whether it be on their phone, on their tablet, on a TV set, or anything streamed to a TV set, advertisers now have to try to isolate these different variables, understand how it is used, and understand what the effectiveness and efficiency they can achieve in trying to get their video in front of the consumer. Because it's most important to get the communications in front of the consumer where they want it, when they want it, so it can be positively viewed. Well, the biggest problem is there is a lot of data out there. The biggest issue that we have today is that there's more data than information. So a lot of the work that has to be done is to try to transform all this information, all this data out there that's coming from so many diverse sources, and actually try to make sense out of it so that we can actually utilize it on behalf of our clients. Well, the processes will always get better as we get more experience with the data points. I think right now we need to couple a lot of these data points together and a lot of the different approaches. So I think it's more of a Band-Aid situation today. I think we've been working in the last year as an industry, and I know as GroupM, to try to enhance the ability to put these data plates together and to try to build a much more systematic approach to understanding and utilizing this. And I think we've made significant success, but I still think we're still just in the beginning stages. Well, it depends on how you define single source, because in today's environment, there are so many different media opportunities out there, so many different data information, such as product consumption, attitudes, behaviors, that I don't really think that we can ever actually ask a single consumer to answer all these types of questions. So I think the industry has to get better, and we are, in trying to figure out how we can put these pieces of the puzzle together and to make it so that it's almost seamless for us to use. Now that's an easier said than done, obviously. Well, GroupM, as you may know, we about a year and a half ago, maybe a little more, got involved with Nielsen to try to help them to understand how we need to utilize the data. Nielsen is an excellent company in terms of getting data, but they're not as good in understanding what we need to do. So we've been working with them to try to understand how we can put some of these pieces together. We've done a lot of testing. We've looked at and dealt with other companies such as ComScore, as well as Compete, to try to help them understand what we need to do. We've got a lot of learning from it, so we have some baseline understanding of how we're going to approach the marketplace and where, when, and we can use it. But I think that's, again, an evolution, because as this becomes more and more available in the industry and consumers start using it, the ability to utilize this as a communications platform will just grow astronomically. Well, I think there are a lot of companies out there. One of the things that I'm involved in is an organization called SIM, which is, we're looking at maybe the company out there in someone's garage that is ready to spawn a new research. We're looking at what alternatives there are, because we always believe that competition actually breeds a better service for us, and we'll constantly keep everybody on their toes in order to get in front of technologies to the best that you can. Well, the baseline for media has to constantly be the audience, the impressions, the reach, the frequency, because that has to be the basic foundation so that we can look at all media on a common platform. However, I do believe that each media has a unique advantage to it. So if we were to just stop at that basic platform, I think we would be underscoring it. So video, being that it's everywhere all the time and where the consumer wants it, I think there's a lot to understand on how consumers are interacting with it, why they're choosing different screens, how the effect of more video being out there actually enhances their relationship with both the program, the environment, and hopefully the advertisers are there supporting this type of availability. There's 2 points there. One is a currency. A currency is that by which we agree to buy and sell off of. I think today the C3 is an excellent currency that we can all do that with. I think it'll be around for quite a period of time, despite what the industry is looking at right now. But again, I don't necessarily mean that that's the way that we're going to evaluate. again, one of the things that we need to understand is how does this drive the metrics that our clients are interested in? Does it draw, is the metric sales? Is the metric awareness? Is the metric attitude? Is the metric sales as it relates to stock price? We have to look at all these things. We also have to look at enhancing the understanding of the consumer, whether it be through third-party databases like Experian and Axiom, or whether it be sales data such as stuff that's available at Shopcom from Kantar or Catalina from Nielsen. These are all different pieces of the pie that help us understand what it is we're looking for and hopefully how to judge whether it worked or didn't work. Well, some of it is sample size. Some of it is the pure metrics that come back to us, because not every one of these devices would have, in essence, a return path data. And return path data is very important for us to understand that the commercial actually did air, that it was received by somebody, and what environment it was done in. Again, that's why we have to work with some of these developers to actually have them think of us when they're building these devices. I mean, the television set could easily have a chip in it that would then make every television set addressable with a possibility of a return path, which would then help. We can do the same with other devices, but we have to think about it before it's actually built, because some of these devices, once built, we'll never have a chance to work with it in that manner.